Let's do our good friend Ben.
What?
Oh, we've
Hello.
talked to Ben.
Did we just interrupt you in the middle of a conversation?
Ben's always got it together.
A little bit, but you know what? It's cool. I'm here for you guys.
You know, I want to say you always are prepared. Your mic's on. Shit's ready to rock and roll, right?
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
That's awesome. What's everybody talking about in the waiting room?
They actually were asking me for my art Instagram and stuff.
Oh,
I was
snap.
explaining to them like some art stuff I'm doing right now.
Oh, perfect. Then you can just say it on the air.
Art Instagram.
Okay, cool.
Be careful, you might get some DMs, but all right.
Yo, what's up? It's me, Ben. Check me out, Instagram _PMOS. I'm working on a game. Gonna have it out by the end of October for Halloween. You know what's up. I'm always keeping it real with my artwork.
Awesome. So you're putting together a game for Halloween?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
All Hallows game. That sounds sick.
Can you?
Yeah, it's just like a fun little like mini RPG. It's not gonna be anything like super fantastic, but you know.
Yeah. Well, sounds like you're having fun with it. So that I'm excited to hear more about it.
Yeah, I like the fact that like games can be themed for specific holidays now.
Yeah.
Gaming is
Oh
so
yeah,
fucking
Halloween
huge.
is my favorite, so I'm always going all out for Halloween.
Ours too, man. I
love
think
Halloween.
I think we're all in Halloween as being like. I think Rocco's like definitely like Christmas is his favorite. Ooh,
Christmas
this guy's
is good
coming with
too.
kids.
I think I used to like Halloween a lot more as a kid because I could like dress up as different characters and be like, you know, whatever, and you know, not have people look at me weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could dress up like a girl.
I think that's one of the things that I liked about video games is that you get to be somebody else. So I always enjoyed third-person games more than first-person shooter games because I wanted to see the different character. I didn't want it to be through my eyes again. Like I already get that. So yeah, that was definitely one of my favorite holidays growing up. So
I started to dress up handing out candy a lot of the time. Like I have a big Lolita dress and I dress up like a doll and pretend to be fake.
Oh
on the
nice.
Twitch.
That's awesome.
That's cool. I never get trick-or-treaters, so I don't get the pleasure of like handing out candy anymore like I used to.
Oh,
But,
I live in
it's-
like an area where people literally come to my neighborhood.
Oh, wow.
So we get so many people.
It works.
It's
though,
actually
'cause-
kind of annoying. People will be coming by at like 10 p.m. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, it's over.
See, I don't
Please
have to
go
deal with
home.
that, and I can go to a party if there is something. There's usually nothing ever going on though. This guy.
That sucks.
Yeah, I don't know. We're usually trying to do some kind of stream or like work during it, so that there's always that
Yeah, this
It-
year
okay.
Halloween's on
on the
Wednesday,
PBS.
so it's a little Halloween scare
Oh
come
shit,
right
that's
on the
right.
day.
Damn, I'm gonna miss out on that PBS. That sucks.
Yeah.
Well, we would always catch the archive and then the upload on Thursday.
Yeah, always put
Yeah.
on YouTube.
There's magic to being here live.
Yeah.
Dude, Leader of the Outlaws, he's almost gone down. No, he has. There he goes.
Boom. I love it. We got a Star Orb
One left.
again. So Ben, what's the purpose of your call?
Purpose of my call, I just love hanging out with my bros. Now, just kidding. I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, as a kid, I always did really weird things that I look back on, and I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking? And I was
Yeah.
wondering if you guys have any stories like that.
Are you getting ready? You want a story time?
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
What the fuck?
What? Say. God.
So like a what the fuck was I thinking moment that you look back at?
Yeah.
I remember, I still to this day, man, I learned the lesson about stealing. There was some neighbor kid, and we were hanging out, and he left some G.I. Joes out in his backyard, and I snatched 2 of them motherfuckers, and then
Oh,
I
shit.
brought them home, and I remember I was like real little, and I'm like, oh my god, I have to hide these, like, I can't, my parents will know that these are not mine, because they didn't get them for me.
Yeah.
Fuck. And I like shoved them under a drawer, like a clothing drawer, for like a year, and would always think about him and be worried or whatever. Not
Oh
even a
my
year,
God.
like a week. And then, because I took them out and went and put them back in his yard, like no one will know I did it. And
Yeah.
like I hid them back like where he had them, so he would find them again. And yeah, that was like, yeah.
Damn, that's slick.
But I was just like, the anxiety of that week of like, I
Jesus.
stole that kid's G.I. Joes. Like, oh fuck.
Did he?
Dude. I
Did he
can't even
talk to you
enjoy it
about him?
because I can't play with my other GI Joes or take them in the bathtub with the boat I have because fucking my parents are gonna know.
Oh my god.
No, he didn't know shit. He doesn't
But-
know to this day this happened.
Oh, so he never
I'm
knew.
Oh, he's
sly,
watching
dude.
right
I've
now.
always been on the sneak tip.
He's
Brian.
watching. He's gonna know.
Son of a bitch.
I don't know if I even remember this guy's name because it was like very brief. He lived down the street.
Okay. Damn. Yeah, I'm trying to think of something like that. I mean, I did a lot of stuff, and I don't know that I regret much of what I did or look back and go, oh man, what the fuck was I thinking? Not because I know what I was thinking, but because I understand that I didn't know what I was thinking. So it's really hard for me, like, looking back now, it's like, oh, very clearly, I now can see why this is wrong. But in the moment, no concept of it. Like, I was just going,
Yeah.
oh, I wonder what's going to happen if I do this. Like, one time I spit on a light bulb, and it completely shattered. I was like,
One time,
like a hot light bulb.
Yeah.
And it popped, scared the shit out of me, and I ran and I told my parents.
I had one of those. I still have it. I have one of those laser balls where it's like a glass ball, and there's the pink and blue laser beams that shine out of it. Very 90s.
I had one of
I had
those.
one of those
yeah, I have
forever.
one of those.
My parents didn't want it anymore and got rid of it, so I like put it in my bedroom, and I used to like have it on all the time. It's a great nightlight. But I always wanted to fucking. This is gonna be Brian. Oh my god. I always wanted to come on this thing and see if it conducted some type of electricity in a way. Because I would take like.
Damn it! I wish I still
I would
had
take
mine.
GAC.
I totally would
You
do
know
that.
Nickelodeon GAC? I would like get it close to it and a spark.
Yeah.
It would spark through the glass, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
I could burn it, and I'm like, dude, I wonder if a jism glaze over the top of this thing would create some kind of like nuclear fusion. I was always into experimenting.
Yeah, me too.
Very body curious as a child. There's no shame involved.
No,
okay?
yeah, absolutely. I've been watching a lot of the new season of Big Mouth, and
I plugged this on last week's podcast too.
and I just feel like, you know, for better or for worse, if you haven't seen that show,
they nail a lot.
they're
right?
doing a lot of great things for people who don't know where to go or how to start a conversation about sex and a lot of issues dealing with sex.
But they hit the nail
but
on
they
the
really-
head with
yeah.
like, I guess our generation of growing up in school. It's about, you know, 4 kids in school, but it's all about puberty.
Yeah, it's puberty, what your life's going through. But then if you look a step
Which is-
further
it's
at the
been-
parents,
Yeah.
like you get to see kind of where we're breaching. You know, we're in our 30s, and like, yeah, seeing some of that and looking back at being that age, you can kind of see both sides and understand your parents a little bit better too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's like, it's a really heartfelt show, and it carried that warmth from the first season onto the second, and it kept it just as funny. But I mean, that group is like so funny on their own that it's kind of hard for them to do anything without it being good. But yeah, it's not weird to do shit.
That show
It's not weird to try stuff out.
That show, well, just back to that show. It's not the prettiest show, and sure, like, kids going through puberty, that's been done before.
Sure.
But, like, the Nick Kroll, I think, and John Mulaney is the other guy that writes with him on that?
Yeah, a few other
like,
people. But
really
yeah.
funny, and they hit something that hasn't... They hit a generation of jokes that I don't think, like, The Simpsons ever did, or, like, you know, other shit didn't do. But, yeah. Dude, let your freak fag fly.
Yeah, I like
They're
that.
dropping loads in the outlets, down the drain. Drains is great.
I said that exact phrase last time I heard him.
No.
Let your freak flag fly. Yeah, when we were talking about the people at the Faku booth.
Oh, okay.
I just
True.
I really enjoy that there is more of an open conversation about pretty much everything.
Do I not have these orbs? What are the orbs I have?
I have no idea
shining
what
orbs.
any of this stuff does.
I have a shining orb and star orbs. Oh, I gotta start using
Oh, so you put them in a very complicated wheel.
But
Cool.
of course, I'm trying to use them and it ain't happening. Oh, here's where the star orbs are used.
Okay.
Okay. Extended burst time.
But yeah, I think I keep coming back to it because I think it kind of answers your question, Ben. Like, if you're able to look back at yourself and see that the things that you did that you thought were fucking stupid were just part of what got you to not do stupid shit anymore, like what I've been thinking about recently is like the function of insecurities. Like, why would you ever cultivate a system within you that makes you feel the way that insecurities make you feel? And then I realized it's because it's your survival mechanism. Your insecurities are the same reason why when you get in your car, you ask yourself, did I lock the front door? Even though you know you did, you still ask yourself. It's a way that you're helping yourself remember to do shit that you would otherwise forget.
I'm just superpowering when I go fucking on. I like to go down one skill tree at a time. Do that too?
I do that normally with health. And
one
then
branch.
Health, and then anything that helps you build more XP. That's typically what I do.
So you start leveling up faster.
Yeah, because with health I'm able to survive longer and learn the system better rather than dying for shit mistakes. Or at least that's how I see it. And then everything, honestly, it forces you to get better at technique if you don't have all the powered up moves real quick at the beginning. But that's just my philosophy. But I think that's kind of a big thing for me, is like I've been trying to like see my insecurities as ways to help me be better and not just as ways to beat me down. Because like,
yeah, that's a really good outlook to have, you know, take a positive spin on something that is usually negative.
I mean, like, it only comes from one place, right? It comes from you. So what are you trying to tell yourself in that moment? Like, and instead of giving up and being frustrated that you don't know what the answer is, which I personally think is typically the reason, like you don't know what to do, and of course you're going to feel insecure about your decision because you don't have the 32 years that, you know, brought you to this point, or the 32 years of experience to make you feel comfortable in that decision. But you need to trust that 32 years didn't kill you. So you might as well continue to like trust your best decision and keep asking yourself, is this the best decision? And I think that'll help make it seem a lot easier, especially if you reflect. I don't know if that's the answer you were looking for.
In a roundabout way, we got there.
This is a really interesting interpretation of my question, because I feel like for me, I just had really weird ways of like thinking of things when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like, okay, let me give an example.
All right.
I don't know if it's an ADD thing or what, but I would always just see something and interpret it as something completely different. And one time my dad asked me, oh, can you empty out all the leftover soda in these cans so we can recycle them? Okay. Instead of emptying them into the sink like a normal person, I thought, wow, this spot on the floor in the garage is the perfect size and shape for pouring soda. So I poured it on the floor in the garage. And Dad yelled at me. And it was just like things like that where I would think, oh, this thing.
I took some. I found some caulking.
I one time put a peanut butter and jelly sandwich into the VHS player because I saw it on TV and
that's
I was
like,
I have the resources
That's
to
fucking
do that.
crazy.
I should do it,
dude. But I did the exact same thing for a different reason. I should say I did a very similar thing for a different reason. When I was younger, like I think around 3 or 4, my dad always loves to tell people this story. He was like,
here's my punishment, Brian. I'm going out to the Coliseum.
He went to go put a tape into the VCR.
Yeah.
And it was stuck. And as he's taking it apart, he finds race cars. And then he realizes that they're my race cars. And he asks me, Brian, why'd you put these race cars in the VCR? And I just told him, I'm like, I wanted to watch race cars. Because as a 3-year-old...
You thought, like, that's what it would show you.
Yeah, to me, it made sense. You put a thing here, and it displays up here.
Yeah.
Like, to him, he realized, like, how most people... And bless my parents for this. They have patience. Most people would get so mad at their kid for potentially breaking or potentially harming or doing something to the VCR, but it's like... Well, what was the kid's intent?
You're 3.
I'm 3 years old. I wanted to watch race cars. I wasn't trying to break it. So if you yell at me, then I'm going to have that insecurity of I can't do this. And my parents, especially my mom, often let me just go discover on my own. My mom tells the story of me wanting to touch the Turkish coffee we make comes in a hot pot. And you burn it right on, you know, like
you pulled a Zach, you touched the
stove.
And
I just wanted to touch it every time it came out. I wanted not the stove, but the thing that you make. I only know the Arabic word for it, and I'm blanking on that even. But But
Come on,
yeah,
now, baby, get
so one day my mom was just like, no, let him touch it. Everybody's like, no, you can't let him touch it. I went. She got her way. I touched it. Screamed my ass off. Never fucking did it again.
Never ever.
Hey, yeah, that's the way it works.
Sometimes.
Already now, just think about it.
Yeah, and to me it taught me a huge lesson. Sometimes pain isn't just this horrible thing that's happened to you. Pain is always a way to learn how to not experience that pain again.
Oh, yeah.
And to
Totally.
and to ground yourself to realize that pain is what makes all the times when you're having a great time awesome.
Oh yeah. Yeah. If you don't work hard and suffer, you can't enjoy the victory.
Yeah.
As much, as certainly as much. I mean, when you really work your ass off at something, the fucking finished product is that much sweeter.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, think about times when you were a kid and you had endless summers and you would just be bored out of your skull by July 10th.
Yeah.
You didn't know what to do, blah, blah, blah. And
Swapping Genesis games, like done with this,
Yeah.
fucking done with this.
playing
Fucking
for
Ace
30
Combat,
seconds,
fucking-
bouncing around, doing a million things. It's because we as humans, we're ambitious. We want to do something. We don't have ADD. We have...
I gotta get on here and stream.
we want to do something.
I want
Like-
4 PPSs a week, baby.
Dude, if I could, like, sometimes I think about the amount I do in a week, and I say this with no amount of, like, you
Well,
know,
that's a get it on.
boasting, but out of happiness. Like, not only do I do the PPS, I help produce the podcast, I work for another company and do their
Oh,
podcast.
first shot.
And, you know, do a lot of extra work with Garrett for the wiring like we mentioned earlier, and I want to do more. Like, I would love to add another thing onto my list.
Once you get good at what you're doing, you become complacent and you feel like, I want to learn something new. I want to
Yeah.
get good at something else.
Yeah. For me, it's the same thing as, like, I love going to a specific restaurant and getting, you know, their star item or my star item on their menu. You know, like, I cannot go to Cotijas without getting a Diablo shrimp burrito.
Well, it's the best.
But then
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like, you know what? I took a gamble on the Diablo shrimp burrito because I said, ooh, I wonder what's that? And that ended up being one of my favorite foods
This
in
guy's
the
got
world.
a gun?
Yeah.
Fuck him.
Why not always have that ambition to try other shit? Because what if this thing is my next favorite thing ever?
This is a gun-free zone.
And that kind of is what motivates me to always try different shit. It's not ADD, it's, I know I don't like this, let me find something I do like.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, yeah, I don't want to pay attention in school. I don't want to listen to the teacher's lecture because it's not engaging me. If it were engaging me, then I'd pay attention. It's not my fault that this...
Yeah, the thing with school, too, is I feel like complete tangent, but school, as, like, the public school system in America, at least, I feel like panders towards kids who learn a certain way, and
Yeah.
it's not inclusive enough. So I was the same, like, it never engaged me because I'm a visual learner.
Yeah.
And lectures and stuff are all auditory.
Yeah.
So
That's why
I never
I connected so much with that electronics technician course in high school because it was like we got to sit at a test bench and plug wires in and solder shit and like learn about physical
yeah, that's
equipment.
fucking awesome.
And that's...
Yeah, it was sick. I don't know if they still do shit like that in high schools anymore.
They
and
do,
fucking-
I
Not
think.
really.
It's weird because I don't
Not
hear a
at-
lot
not
of
in my
people. I don't hear a lot of people going into trades anymore.
Well, yeah, that's actually like a huge problem. I used
Everyone
to...
wants to be a fucking developer or like some kind of software or like that side of it.
Right, yeah, but they don't realize that there is never going to be a time where you don't need a contractor who can do construction, who can do electrical
yeah, that's a whole
wiring,
nother thing,
who
yeah.
can do
Plumbing.
trades, plumbing, HVAC. These
As long as there's
skills
human
are,
beings, there's you've got a job in those fields.
yeah, and you may down the line be able to teach that skill to a robot, but I mean that robot's gonna have to be fairly sophisticated.
You know what I always think about? The great thing about being in electronics is, well, when the robot breaks, someone's got to fix the robot.
Exactly. Ultimately, it comes down to that. And electronics are the base of everything we're doing. So if you understand the principles of that, you can use those fundamentals to succeed in other avenues. But like, I don't know. The more I talk with people, the more I experience. Jesus, these fucking
That
like,
move
lame
is
people.
sick. Here comes the bees.
Ooh. But the more I do that, the more I realize that we're living in a time where the only thing that blocks you from anything you want is your will. Like,
Yeah.
I just went on a trip. My friend told me that he just spent the last 2 months working solely off something called TaskRabbit, which is an app for people who want to. It's like Uber, but instead of driving, it's just tasks, putting up signs. I don't know, whatever, sweeping somebody's lawn.
And you could just do that as a job?
Yeah. Now I don't know how the liability, the insurance, any of that kind of shit works. You know, I would assume you assume all liability. So, you know, be careful. But the fact that you
sounds like Uber Craigslist.
Yeah, but it basically instead of you having to have a 9-to-5 job, you can literally have your schedule any way you want with a multitude of different apps, either being a delivery driver, either doing work as a contractor. Like, there is no reason for people to not be employed other than their own will nowadays. And I feel like something that we all lack is that like
I think
motivation to feel, will.
I think there's a lot of young people like us though that Brian, that want to have like 5 things, like the hustle. They just do like 6 or 7 different freelance things, and they do it.
Well, for instance, I love playing video games. So do you.
Yeah. Well, shit, we got so many friends that stream now for a living.
Yeah,
it's so cool to see
look at this. Like, the whole idea behind the PPS is, well, shit, I want to play video games, but I don't want to feel like shit for taking an hour out of my week where I know I could be planning something and do it this way.
Oh, and I can put some music shit in.
Yeah, you literally look at the PPS phone, it's literally a combination of everything Garrett.
Whoa, I just realized the MPC's hooked up to a MIDI cable now. This is the first time I've done that. And it was just playing all the samples at once.
Oh, damn.
Hold on, let me turn that volume
Yeah, it sure was.
What? But back to the music. Yeah, incorporating all of your interests into, what you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a partner.
I think it's definitely all about your drive to do whatever you want to do. Like, you hear about people and they either
King DDD's hammer.
Yeah, I love
that. That's something that I learned. I want to say fairly recently is that motivation I feel like is a big problem for people.
Yeah.
And in order to really start doing something you want to do, you can spend forever saying oh, I want to eventually do this, I want to eventually do that, but you kind of have to just
make a list
yourself to do it, Dude, and then you kind of get on a roll and you'll start naturally doing other things you want to do, but you have to push yourself.
Make a list.
Something I feel like people don't do enough.
Make a list of the things you want to do, just the baby steps of one thing you want to do.
Yeah.
And then do 3. Oh, I'm only gonna do 3 things a day. Or fuck, if you got a busy schedule, just be I'm gonna do 1 of these extra things a day.
Yeah.
But once a day, and then you're fucking years down the road, it's oh my god, I'm practiced and good at this.
Yeah, that was something I would always tell people when I was training them when I worked at Nespresso. I would always tell them, I know this is all overwhelming now, but just start doing it, and you'll realize in 2 months, holy shit, I know way more than I thought I ever would about this fucking coffee brand. And it's because...
Oh shit, you worked with coffee too?
Yeah, well, I worked for Nespresso for 5 years, and I had this kind of epiphany there where I switched from being a slacker to being a better worker because I didn't want to stand around being bored all the time. Because I would do what was minimally asked of me and then just stand there. But my boss did not accept that. He pushed me and he made me see, and I hated him at first, but he made me see that that's what you should do, and every day at work went by like that after he showed that to me.
That's kind of with my job, that's kind of what happened to me, but with cleaning, where it's very, very slow in the morning because I work at a pie shop, so I get the dessert rush. And so when I would open, it's just well, there's nothing to fucking do, so I would just deep clean everything.
Yeah.
And it gave me more of an appreciation for keeping my stuff clean,
Yeah. And it teaches you how to clean shit at home. One of the biggest things I can tell people, to help you unlock your abilities in your brain is stop thinking that there are these arbitrary barriers between literally everything. Because every barrier, everything that you think is in your head, and I'm going way too far now and I know it, it's all constructed because you need to organize it. But if you realize that it's only there to help you organize it, you're not bound by it, you're able to help yourself see these mutual, beneficial lessons in everything that you learn. Because shit I learn at work, I use at home. And shit I learned at home, I use at work.
Oh, shit I learned at work, I've incorporated into running the wiring solutions. You know, like...
Yeah.
Just, yeah, man, like... Life is all a series of experiences.
If you can't connect them all and see the connection between them...
It would benefit you. You've got these... You've leveled up all these different skill trees and different branches. It would benefit you if you could utilize all of them because you've got all those skills, right?
Yeah.
Like if you bring it back to like RPG kind of fucking... I love to look at life like a video game.
I mean, it's kind of...
Oops! I love when that happens in life. This is like deja vu.
That's a breather. You can see the games you've been playing.
You get into a quick little coma.
Oh, you went in... Did you hop into Survive recently?
Yeah.
No.
Pass out, think about it a little bit, come back, and continue punching the shit out of people.
Yeah.
And,
I'm about to
up your
finish
skill
this
trees,
biatch.
just like real life.
Thank you so much, Ben. You've been a great guest.
Yes, as always.
Sparked some deep
Thank
thought.
you.
You know, you reminded
Yeah,
me
this
of...
turned like very introspective.
I'm watching
yeah.
the show on Netflix, Maniac, with the really thinned out, what's that guy's name from Superbad? Shit.
McLovin?
Yeah, no, the other one. But it's good. It's fucking, it's a mind fuck.
Oh,
and
Jonah
I
Hill.
like it. Jonah Hill. And it's funny too, but some of the things we're touching on, interesting. Defense mechanisms.
Well, I think it's universal. I think the more you speak to people, the more you realize that we all
we're all
feel
human
the
beings,
same
baby.
way. It's just that we feel that about different things.
Yeah.
Like, yes, we can't necessarily sympathize as men with the way it must feel to be a woman. We can't sympathize with those insecurities in that way, but there are ways that we felt those same insecurities, so we need to be sympathetic to them.
I don't
You
know,
what
bro.
I mean? We got to be sympathetic. We all feel
I think
like,
I got them dames figured out pretty well, bro.
we got to try, all of us.
All right, I hear you. Well, thank you so much.
Get that long hair.
Thank you again. Let's get to a quick
Bye, man.
little break.